Hey everyone, welcome to the very first The MERK Method podcast, where we explore mental wellness, growth, and the human experience. I'm your host Eric, and today we're tackling a subject that impacts millions of males, yet often lives in the shadows: the emotional mask that many men feel forced to wear. But what happens when we take that mask off? We're diving into emotional literacy, resilience, and why true strength might look different than we think it does. All right, let's get into it. From the time many boys, like myself, were young, we would always hear, "Don't cry. Oh, you got to toughen up. Oh, be a man about it." These phrases may seem harmless, but over time, they create what I call the emotional mask. It's that learned habit of stuffing emotions down to maintain that image of control. All right, let's be clear. There's nothing wrong with being composed or calm. I'm composed and calm. However, I've worked at that. But when emotional suppression becomes your default mode, it can rob you of that connection, that pure empathy, and even that self-awareness. Here's what happens behind that mask, okay? Men may become emotionally distant, not just for others, but really for themselves. That's really the key of this. Do we really know who we are if we're suppressing all of these emotions? They struggle to name what they're feeling, which can turn sadness into what is normally anger, and of course, anxiety. And they do all of this in silence. And of course, over time, they disconnect from the very tools they need to cope with. That's really not strength. We call that survival. So let's talk emotional literacy for a second. What is that? So it's simply the ability to recognize, understand, and express your emotions in a healthy way, okay? It isn't about being quote-unquote soft. This is about being human. We're all human beings, and we all struggle with something. The truth is we can't manage what we can't name. If you don't know the difference between stress and sadness, or anger and hurt, how can you take care of yourself? You don't know what you don't know. All right, here's a thought. Next time you're feeling quote unquote off, try this little check-in. How about you name what you're feeling? Or maybe ask yourself, where is this coming from? Where is this resonating from? What am I thinking of when this happens? Decide what you need. Do you need a timeout? Do you need a rest? Do you need some boundaries? Or just kind of feeling things out? These small amounts of awareness really build resilience over time. There's a heavy cost to not speaking up. I've seen it time and time again in the counseling that I'm doing today. Men are statistically more likely to die of suicide. The last time I checked, it's almost 80% of suicides are males. They abuse substances and go untreated for mental health conditions. Obviously, we all know men do not like doctors, I am included. However, I did go to therapy, and I might be biased, but it really turned everything around for me. So why are these statistics so high? Well, because silence has been normalized. Because asking for help has been twisted into something shameful. We really have to break that stigma. But here's a truth that needs repeating. Reaching out is not weakness. Okay? It is wisdom. It's for you. The strongest people I know are the ones who know when to raise their hand and say, "All right, I'm out. I need support." I know you're one of those people. I'm here to help you. We all hit walls, but we don't have to hit them alone. I want to talk to you about somebody that I met the other day. We're not going to use his real name. We'll call him Jordan. Jordan grew up in a family where emotions weren't talked about. His father worked hard and rarely said much. His role models taught him to keep it in and push through. Man up. For years, Jordan did just that until the pandemic hit. Suddenly, he was isolated, overwhelmed, and for the first time, he realized he didn't know how to deal with what he was feeling. Through journaling, therapy, and finally opening up to a close friend, Jordan began to unpack those years of emotion. The result? He says he feels more alive now than ever, not because life got easier, but because he stopped hiding from the emotions. That's the power of stepping into emotional honesty. We hear a lot about being resilient, but let's redefine that. Resilience isn't being unaffected. It's not pretending things don't hurt. Real resilience is letting yourself feel without judgment. Stop judging yourself. Others are going to judge you, but it's really what you think of yourself, what you feed your brain. You are your biggest listener. Whatever you feed it, that's what you're going to think. Real resilience is having the tools to recover. And knowing that asking for help is a sign of self-respect. And it's something that can be built. I did the same thing. One conversation at a time. One honest moment at a time. It's baby steps. It's a process. You have to take it in baby steps. If you're going to fall forward. All right, so where do we start? I've got some tools for building some mental strength, okay? Number 1, daily check-in. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Feel your surroundings. Really feel your emotions, okay? Next one, journaling. I'm a big person on journaling. Write your ideas down. It turns that noise off in your head. Okay? Next, move your body. Exercise. Physical movement shifts emotional energy. It helps with anxiety. Go for a walk. Walk the dogs. If you can get to the gym, maybe you can't get to the gym. Maybe try to do some yoga or something in the house. Anything to release that energy. Talk to somebody. A friend, a therapist, a mentor, your neighbor. Somebody that you feel will really listen to you. And this is the biggest one. Set some boundaries. I'm bad at it. I got better, but I'm not there yet. Protect your time. Protect your peace and your energy. You don't need to do them all at once. Just pick one. Again, it's a process. Okay? Just start with one. I usually give everybody homework, so we'll call it homework for the week. Check in with one friend. Really ask them how they're doing. Really listen to what they're saying. You need to really put yourself in their shoes. If you were struggling, you would want somebody to really, truly listen, right? No judgment. And if you've been holding something in, try letting one person in, right? Bring down the guard just a little bit. Because no matter what you've been taught, you don't have to go through this alone. You are not alone in this at all. We're all here for you. That's why I'm here. That's why this podcast started. It's going to get extremely better. I guarantee it. But I want you to remember, you're not going through this on your own. Okay? So I'm going to wrap that up for today's episode of the MERK Method. Don't forget your homework. I want to thank you all for showing up for yourself and maybe for someone else who needed this too. Share this with your friends. Come back and listen a couple of times if you need it. Remember, removing that emotional mask doesn't make you less of a man. It makes you more human. And that's where real strength lives. Again, remember, if today's episode resonated with you, share it. Leave a review. Follow more conversations like this. We're all learning. We're all healing together. I'm with you on this path 100%. Okay? So as I leave you, I want to leave you with this. Stay grounded. Stay kind to yourself, and remember, strength begins with honesty. Until next time.